Oh, hey, I hit the play button. Well, this is embarrassing. But what you gonna do? Well, everybody, last time we played Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York, we were getting high off ketamine, I guess, indirectly. Not sure about that one. But we were getting high with our girlfriend. We are a wholesome lesbian who hates her life, as you want to do. And we're a vampire. We're no longer a completely miserable wreck of a human being, but a vampire who's being discriminated against, which is less than cool, but it seems like all the other vampires want to have a ball and a party and a weird vampire-y time. In New York, of all places. It's like it's in the title. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and load up. We're on day 4. We're going to continue on. Generally speaking, with this Let's Play, I seem to be doing about 2 days worth of content every single session. And real quick, let me go ahead and just remind people, this is a blind playthrough. This is in no way perfect. I'm not playing this optimally. It's a visual novel. The last one really kind of pissed away my goodwill, and I seem to be having a better time with this game. No, really, I think the writing and the characterization is quite good. Unfortunately, it also seems incredibly limiting. But more on that in a little bit. You heard an echo. That was me fucking up my audio settings. It's kind of like I'm still a complete amateur to this whole streaming and video thing. Now, I know that some people find my voice to be incredibly grating and annoying. I promise not to do a weird Southern Baptist minister voice immediately. But it will come if that character comes. Anyways, I like to voice these characters with Julia being basically my normal voice, and then the characters that are not Julia with a little bit more of a flair, depending on my sobriety. I am very much sober today. Alright, jumping into it. Still can't get over how the dialogue box isn't the entire screen and it requires a little bit of scrolling. It's a really finicky thing, and I kinda hate it. Anyways, let's jump into it. I leave Dakota's apartment as soon as the sun goes down. Yesterday was fun, but I always feel a little nervous when I spend too much time with her. She never lets me escape from being the center of attention. It's exhausting. Girl, it sounds like you in a relationship. At least the less time I spend with her, the happier she is to see me again. It's a tricky act to balance, though. Yeah, it definitely sounds like a relationship. Surprise, surprise, LGBTQ relationships are as exhausting and time-consuming as heteronormative relationships. Who would have ever predicted it? I am grateful for her presence in my life, but, well, never mind. What's on my list of chores tonight? Ah, yes, only one thing. Don't show up for the party at the art hole. There are many holes you want to go to right now, girl, and the art hole is not one of them. Do not put your fist deep into that art hole. Well, this is the rare night when I don't have anything to do. Might as well take a trip around the city and see what's up. And maybe fix myself a little drink while I'm at it. Girl, that sounds like a good time. Oh, right, we have weird social link shit to do. So, we can do breaking the habit. I need to break out of this mood, go somewhere I've never visited, see something I tend to avoid. Think, Julia, what is the least you place to go and live a little? I could see this guy, a walk in the park. In life, I wasn't especially fond of parks. Now, as one of the kindred, I kind of see the appeal. Past midnight, they become a surprisingly good hunting ground. I'm under the impression that we've just been with our girlfriend, so possibly we are nourished. So I'm gonna say, let's go fuck up a dude in a bar. Oh, we're going to the Coney Island thing. Give me a minute. Let me just check one thing about the audio settings. I always forget that this game is quiet in comparison to the rest of the games that I normally stream. What was I thinking? I mean, even the most hopeless introverts yearn for company every now and again. Be it the company of someone they know or a total stranger revealing themselves to be the soulmate they've always sought. Even for someone as neurotic as me, there's something enthralling in the idea of briefly trading your individualism for a place in the crowd. You can just wander around and stare like a peeping Tom hidden in plain sight. If there's anything missing from the shell of my previous social life, it's that intangible sensation being part of a living mass. But really, Coney Island, of all places? What was I thinking? Surely it's my id finally revealing what I've been missing all along. All my sick soul really wanted was to nibble on a Williams caramel apple while taking an overpriced Wonder Wheel ride. Well, I'm here. Might as well try at least one of these tourist traps. Geez, where's Gino and M? They can tell me all about it's. God, is the Thunderbolt the new ride they install where it's the Zamperla? Because I've ridden that one. That one's awful. Oh my God, it's awful. Is that the one that's basically a Eurofighter with 4 per seat and it has 2 rows, so it basically rides 8? Because, oh my God, the restraints on that thing are terrible. Oh my God. And it had, I don't know what it was. It was when it was new, but it had like a fucking pothole on it. And it was rough. It was surprisingly rough. Would a vampire like a roller coaster, though? Because when I ride those cheap pier-based roller coasters, I think I want to die. I think a vampire would like a roller coaster. Of all the nearby roller coasters, this one seems to attract the least attention. Perfect. I take a seat in the most weathered car, buckle up, and prepare to force some enjoyment out of myself. After a few minutes' ride, I realize why everyone gives this place a wide berth. To say it was underwhelming would be an undeserved compliment. Not that I expected anything else, but still, I'm not sure what I was hoping for. Amidst the clouds of cigarette smoke... Oops, sorry. No game. I notice an old woman perched silently by the wall. She looks like one giant wrinkle, but her gaze is lively and pierces right through me. I pull the crumpled package out of my back pocket, my last smoke. As I raise the lighter, some pompous dick, preoccupied with his visibly bored girlfriend, shoves the cigarette out of my hand. Somehow, his half-assed apology that pisses me off. It's his half-assed apology that pisses me off the most. The urge to drink him dry is strong, but I let it pass. I look beneath my feet. I can hear the old crone cackling as my cigarette sinks into the only puddle in the vicinity. Fuck! I turn towards the exit and notice some brawny dude closing in on me. The way he's dressed has the same uncanny aura as Steve Buscemi walking through a high school corridor in a skater outfit, except that Steve Buscemi is 1,000 times cooler than this guy. He gets right in my face and hands me a cigarette, pulling up a rather annoying smirk. Having a bad night, sweetheart? Oh, this guy. This guy is a big woof. This guy is something else. would say the music is maybe a little loud. I hate doing settings. I hate doing settings for audio, cause OBS always fucks this up. I like the touch of this little animated swarm of flies. I like that. I think it's a good touch. I think they put in a little bit of animation, not a ton. And I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's talk to this dick. Don't respond. I'm totally not responding to this fucking dick. I look the other way and attempt to walk past him. He completely disregards my reluctance and starts waving his hands erratically like a second-hand mime. That's a shame, but hey, you seem like a girl who likes to have fun. I know these things. I have something here for you. Just you. Want to check it out? Throughout this bizarre peacock dance, his colorful wristband pops up from behind his sleeve. Shit, man, how clueless can you be? Is this a hidden camera show, or maybe you're just some newbie being hazed by the rest of your undercover unit? Do I tell him to fuck off, which is my... I'm going to fake curiosity. He really thinks I'll take the bait. Unbelievable. Okay, smartass, you're on. Well, what do you say? Keep talking. Why won't you follow me to my stash? I got dope. Oh. We getting high? You got the happy grass, kid? Yeah, I'm with Julia. Wow. Just wow. Let me stop you right there, Tony Montana. That's a really good diss. Oh man. Let me stop you right there, Tony Montana. Less than 10 seconds, and you rush straight to the finish line? Also dope? You poor soul. You're out of your depth. Who put you up to this? I seem to have struck a nerve, and he doesn't know how to handle it. Come on, big guy. Just give me a reason. Well, fuck you too, bitch. Man, this dialogue doesn't mince any words. It just goes for it. Well, fuck you too, bitch. That's the voice of a guy who's selling dope. Now, that's just rude and begs for a reaction. What do I do? Drop your act for everyone to see. Yeah, let's do that. Let's dominate his mind. I want to dominate his mind. I want to dominate his spirit. I want to dominate him. You tried to sell me human dope, and then you call me a bitch? It's time for you to be the bitch. Drop your act for everyone else to see. He freezes in place as I gaze into his eyes. Flash your badge and state your name to every person in that crowd. He slowly turns on his heel and waddles away like an intoxicated penguin, yelling and waving his badge around for everyone to see. Fuck you, pig! I'm Officer Brad Hines. I'm Officer Brad Hines. Brad Hines. I'm Brad Hines. Officer Brad Hines. His colleagues, two casually dressed guides sharing similar light blue wristbands, quickly show up to collect him, but he still keeps screaming his name at the befuddled group. This is great. Seeing the old crone rolling in the aisles, laughing her heart out at that pig suddenly makes the whole Coney Island trip worthwhile. She applauds me from afar. No one but me seems to notice. Maybe there is something more to this place after all. I casually wave back at the old lady as I take my leave. Guess that's enough human interaction for one night. That was worth it. That was worth it. Exposing an undercover cop, totally worth it. Oh man, this is good. This is good stuff. This game is good. This is good video game. Once more to the Big Beat Burger, into the last food joint I'll ever know. I'll have the usual. The first time I used this line, I wasn't sure it would work, but I've gained enough notoriety among the staff that it does. The cashier just smiles, nods, and charged me for one black coffee. I can imagine them instructing the newbies. See that emo weirdo? Here's how it is. She always orders a single cup of coffee, nothing else, and she doesn't even drink it. Probably wouldn't take a single sip even if I was still alive. This stuff is just trash, but at least being a buying customer gives me an excuse to sit here for as long as I want to. I wish I could use one of those self-order kiosks to minimize human contact, but no touchscreens. But touchscreens don't exactly like me. Not too long ago, I managed to blue screen 10 of them in a row. Ah yes, La Sombra, their special ability is that they fuck up electronics. The unfortunate thing is they cannot use electronics, so any technology skill checks or skill checks that require you to use technology, you will either break them or you are guaranteed not to make them. So there's a pro and a con to the La Sombra's lack of technology use. Well, the good news is it doesn't look like I have anything to do tonight. The bad news is, it's because every kindred who matters is having fun at the art hole right now. It's not like I wanted to go, I just wanted them to invite me so I could tell them to fuck off. I have to be careful because last time I accidentally said the C word because of this video game. Ellipses. I scan the entrance to the restaurant through my peripheral vision. Am I naively hoping someone will come and save me from my misery? I guess I am. Please, 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 let somebody come and get me out of here. A prince, a princess, a knight in shining armor, a fairy godmother, a passing huntsman, Big Bad Wolf, Mila Jokovic, Vin Diesel, Azealia Banks. Hell, I'll take anyone at this point. Visualizing, tapping into the power of my subconsciousness, materializing my dreams. Nope, doesn't work. Looks like you're internally stuck being a nobody in the corner of a shitty restaurant, sweet little Julia, unlife's a bitch, and then you don't even die. I pretend to read a book about psychoanalysis I stole from Dakota for a while. Having found it too mentally taxing, I switched to pretending to read a Stephen King book, which I also stole from Dakota. Dakota is my girlfriend in this game. After the terrifying realization that it was written in the last 15 years and therefore contains no amusing drugged-out rants about troubled childhood in Maine, I switched back to looking at the entrance. That part must be so stuffy and trashy and That party must be so stuffy and trashy and boring. Ugh. At this point, I'm no longer looking for salvation. I'm asking for amusement. But he doesn't come. All I get is boring bozos in normcore clothes. They walk in, take care of their business without doing anything to amuse me, and walk out. Well, you're a vampire. You should be used to this idea that maybe, just maybe, life's a bitch and you're not even gonna die. You even admitted that you're not going to die, and that's part of the problem. You were excited for a little bit, and then you realized, vampires are almost as shitty as humans, except now they've got this weird self-loathing complex. All right, let's see if something happens. My guess, something bad's gonna happen at the party, and we're gonna have to clean up the dirt, the mess, or whatever it is. A few minutes after I lose all hope, a tall, elegant man marches in with a spring in his step. He looks around, impatient, irritated, then he notices the person he was looking for and reacts with visible relief. He gallantly approaches my table, looks at me, and says, "There you are. Oh shit, it's our Bara Daddy Kadir." "Hey, Bara Daddy Kadir, how's life? You Bara-ing it up in the party thing that you were organizing people and buying them their outfits? You know, you have a personality in this game, unlike the first game that we played." Now, that's curious. He shouldn't be here. These are all the same thing. I'm gonna call him Vin Diesel. Looks like my prayers were answered. Vin goddamn Diesel is here, ready to take me away from this dreadful place in his shining Dodge Charger. Oh my god, the dialogue is great. I am so glad I picked that choice. This is good stuff. This is very, very good stuff. Kadir, ellipsis. Is Michelle Rodriguez in trouble again? Have you made up with The Rock? Will we get justice for Han? This is the best game I've ever fucking played. Will you teach me how to live my life a quarter mile at a time? This game just did a fucking Fast and Furious reference. And I love it. I love it. I'm excited. My dumb attempt at self-amusement doesn't faze him at all. He doesn't even roll his eyes, just stares at me blankly. Grab your stuff and get in my car. Now. His tone leaves no room for doubt. Something bad has happened. I want to ask what, but whenever he's in his I will simply ignore all the dumb shit you say mode, I know better than to ask questions. Instead, I silently follow him to the exit. He guides me to his car. I just hope I haven't messed anything up. Again, I don't think I have, but, well, have I? Kadir's car. Oh, shit! They're animating his eyes, so it's not just a static image in the back window mirror. Cool. They actually realized they kind of need to animate these things so these environments look, like, dynamic. Kadir's car, as usual, he gave me the back seat. He's always uneasy when the passenger seat is taken. Doesn't want anyone to limit his peripheral vision, he says. Normally, I'd catch him observing me in the rear view mirror, but this time, he's watching the streets, more tense than usual. Something must have caught him off guard. This seems like he's looking at you. Oh, wait, nope, no, he is definitely, got his eyes on someone that's not you. Somebody watching me! Sorry. I got my seatbelt on and my popcorn ready. What's up? The awkward silence feels like it will last forever. Eventually, he finds the right words and speaks up. 6 weeks ago, the prince told me to, well, parley with the anarchs in the docks. Remember? Yeah, and you made me tag along so I could learn something about politics. As it turned out, politics meant something awfully similar to watching my drunken family shout at each other at a wedding party. There was this man who didn't need to shout to make my blood boil. The meanest one in the room, their leader, white hair, a monocle, musty clothes. I remember him in the first game. Boss Callahan. Well, this fucking Pollock. Nope. I deeply apologize for reading that. I understand that is a bad word. Nope. Didn't mean to say that. Shit. Damn it. I am truly sorry. Well, okay, let's keep moving on. Scrooge McDuck, yeah, how could I forget? A lot of panache, old-timey bravado, and gendered insults flung my way. What was his name? Something British. Made me think of Hollywood. Callahan? Baron Callahan. Douglas Boss Callahan. Let's go ahead and see the book here. Powerful anarch, basically a warlord. Barons are often up jumped licks who have strong-armed their way to control over a building or even a city block. In New York City, especially in Douglas McCallahan's case, it often seems suspiciously like a form of traditional governance to me. The Anarch Movement. The loosely organized sect of political outsiders opposing the modern Camarilla-dominated paradigm. They seek to end the tyranny of the elders, but from what I've seen in New York City, they've just replaced one hierarchy for another, more loosely defined. There's also the Sabbat, which is a type of anarch. It's complicated, not gonna go into it. Whatever. Right, it's 2020, but the man's opinions and ideas were stuck in 1920. Weren't the anarchs supposed to be the progressive option? I never understood why they put up with him. He has his way of predicting which way the wind will blow. Anytime Camarilla or the SI hit the anarchs, it was the factions opposed to him that were hurt. The luckiest bastard in the world. Thought you didn't believe in luck, said Julia. I don't, but it sure looks like his luck has finally run out tonight. Oh, please tell me Boss Callahan is dead. Huh. Wait, don't tell me. He's dead? Deader than dead? I'm 99% sure the bastard met his final death. How do you know? We've got trustworthy sources in the Anarch inner circles. Looks like all hell is about to break loose. There's an emergency meeting at the art hole. Jesus, and you're bringing me with you? Why? Because you were on the way. Because I could. Because I should. You might not be important to the members of the court, but you're still an asset to the sect. Symbolically, at least. I can justify sneaking you into the party claiming it's for your own protection. As always, my very own Vin Diesel takes care of his familia. Gonna take a screen cap of that one. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, though. The party is still happening? I called the prince, told her the best course of action is stopping it, and started listing security protocols I prepared for these sorts of situations. She interrupted me halfway through and told me we will discuss the subject face to face. Doesn't sound like she was interested. The party is that important, huh? Politics is that important. I don't know if he's trying to convince me or himself. And once again, politics sound an awful like a bunch of party-loving assholes shouting at each other. Don't worry, this isn't the kind of, how should I call it, governing issue the likes of you and I tend to deal with. And how would you describe the governing issues we tend to deal with? Shoveling ourselves out of shit. As usual, he seems a little embarrassed for cussing, or for being too honest. Either way, it's cute. No argument here. And that's where the conversation ends. We stay silent as the car rides off toward the unknown. I'm not a New York City Baron. The Baron of New York City, if you please. Once more, a memory of an old douchebag who thought he could rule the world crosses my mind. Well, it looks like the world has left him behind. Sayonara, asshole. And here I am, the only place I didn't expect to visit tonight, the art hole. Guessing by the sounds, the inside seems lively. Even if they know it's an emergency, they simply don't care. What are you standing around for? You still need an invitation? No idea, do I? I think the bouncer will let you in. There's a bouncer? Yes, and he's standing right in front of you. Just start walking, whelp. And here I am, among partying elites. It's as stuffy and boring as I expected, but hey, at least it's exclusive. The title Panhard came up with for these yearly gatherings is called Celebrations of Power, an invitation to re-examine the relationship between our undead bodies and the spaces they inhabit. The week-long event is packaged as a sort of performance art piece meant to make the kindred who are involved celebrate their potential instead of despairing at their monstrous nature. Quote, we need to counter-program the omnipotent images of tragic vampirism with images that remind us we have inherited the earth and are now free to make it in our image, is the way our prince puts it. To this end, she organizes a series of exhibits, concerts, fireworks, parties, business meetings, etc., etc. Of course, the parties and business meetings are the most important. My prince. Kadir! Finally! A saint with angelic wings, a holy patron of New York City. I take a good look around. Half the figures here are dressed like they're attending a mass ball. The other half are religious figures, either demonic or saintly. I have to admit, I don't fully understand the theme here. I know Panhard based it on psycho magic, a sort of shamanistic psychotherapy using the art of power. Simply put, it's a holy mass and unholy mass in equal measures. A set of rituals meant to make the participants wholeheartedly accept they're both the worst and the best this earth has to offer. Put on this mask, at the very least you're standing out. Help! 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 Anyone! Help! 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 So I guess we're gonna turn into a furry. Great. Nope, don't like that. Don't like that a bit. I don't mean that to suggest that I don't like furries. I just feel like this mask is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. I heard the aesthetic basis for these parties is the black mass in the film Eyes Wide Shut. Some think this decision means Panhard is tone deaf, but it's quite the contrary. This is the worst, but best, but worst, but best. She knows the anarchs are constantly looking for ways to undermine her through art and rhetoric that point out glaring contradictions in her theoretically benevolent rule. But instead of denying and suppressing aesthetics designed to criticize the elite, she embraces them. Instead of risking a Streisand effect, she effectively defangs the opposition. The resistance becomes a part of the system, and both the Camarilla and the anarchs get the same message. Don't think of it as a pathology, think of it as the new normal. I'll collect the key advisors. They're already been told to come here. I don't think there's a need for us to hold the meeting in a particularly secluded place. We'll just do it over there. Are you Are you certain? Help! Help! This mask is fucking with my brain. Every part of this hurts my brain. Every part. All of it. Not some of it. Part of it. All of it. It hurt. It hurt my brain. They put a mask on my Bara Daddy Kadir, and now he furry. Now he become fur. Why is this happening? Who? What? Help. Help. She told him he wasn't dressed for the masquerade, and then she put a furry mask on his face. His fursona is whatever the fuck this is. I think he's been a Brayer pack? I don't know. Oh my god. Absolutely. Wait, is that Miss Sawinski I see behind you? Just let Kadir talk. I nudged Kadir to take over. I collected her on my way here because of her role as a La Sombra representative. Just say political hostage. You people have made it perfectly clear what's gonna happen with my parents back in Chicago if I go against you. I realized she might become a target and decided to hide her at the art hole. Putting all my eggs in one basket will make my job easier. I will look for a safe place for her to spend the night. Let us stay with you for now, Al-Asa. My time is of the essence. Every part of this is the best, worst, best, worst? Best, worst. It's the best, worst. It's the best, worst. Oh god, this game is killing me. Why is this happening? I guess it makes sense that... Okay, let's just recap. The vampires are being attacked. Vampires are being assassinated. The vampires decided to hold a party in which they reenact scenes from Eyes Wide Shut. But the vampires are not going to take the time to deal with the situation that might result them in being killed. That's what's happening. I didn't notice him sneak up on us. Nice getup. Are you absolutely sure? But of course, everything we say here is going to become an open secret in a matter of minutes. Prince Panhard has already come up with the appropriate messaging. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot an elderly vampire guiding a young, fashionable human girl toward the basement, led like a lamb to the slaughter. Best not to think too deeply about what's going on underneath this place. Before everyone gets here, I'd like to secure the perimeter. Easy now, Asmai. All of the appropriate security protocols for you are already active. Me and Panhard have already pulled some strings as well. The situation is mostly under control. Mostly under control. Never let anyone sleep any easier. Asmai, I know that as Prince's sword, you're aching for blood, but you have to accept that, like most weapons known to men, you're most effective hidden in the sheath. Listen here, now. Looks like a fascinating philosophical discussion in the making, but sadly, I'm forced to interrupt. Prince Panhard. All of a sudden, Samira appears between the two men, her calm, collected voice completely changing the atmosphere as expected for a self-professed protector of the peace. Samira, I hope you're enjoying yourself. To be quite honest, I feel out of place. She nods and smiles at me, probably to signal she takes solace in not being the only person in the room who feels like a fish out of water. Especially now, seeing as I heard this meeting is meant for those of greater stature than mine. Nonsense. We have a delicate matter to discuss, one that might require severe judgment down the road. I think you understand why I wished for a child of Hakim to be involved. Of course. What is with that expression on your face, Kadir? He quickly collects himself. Look, who's joining us? The High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, Lady Isles. Fuck. Her name, I drink Aisling. Okay. The High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, Lady Aisling Sternbridge, walks up to our group in an outfit I would never imagined her in, pretending everything is par for the course. What is it? Yeah! Yes! Yes! She's a steampunk devil. She's a steampunk devil. She's a steampunk devil. That is her cosplay. Cosplay good. Cosplay good. Cosplay good. Oh man, yes. Let's go. Devil steampunk vampire. Steampunk devil vampire. Let's go. What more do I need in my life? Oh. Prince Panhar, the Sheriff, the Harpy, the Banu Hakim Primogen, are we still waiting for someone? He's almost here. Shining even more brightly than usual, Aisling. I adore your outfit, Samaria. Wish the prince allowed the same amount of effort for me. I, for one, am glad she didn't. I particularly love those horns. Thank you for reminding me. I put them on at the prince's behest, but I believe she's had more than enough fun. No, not yet. Well, this will do for now. But you're not off the hook yet. I paid a costly price to see you like this. Both Kadir's and the prince's voice are strained whenever they attempt humor. Their minds are obviously elsewhere, and it's not a happy place. Arturo, on the other hand, seems calm. We all celebrate our power in different ways, I suppose. Now, what is this about? Just a moment. Over here, Addison! Addison! The Camarilla's infamous spokesman approaches, pushes towards us in a wheelchair by his servant. Yes. He's got an anime boy. He's got an anime husband. He's got an anime blindfold. He's a near character. Woo! Cosplay in my game. Motherfucker, you in the Panda Express drive-thru? They be cosplaying, bitch. Enjoy your vampire cosplay. What a commanding tone. Seeing as Payne didn't communicate normally, his servant relays his words to us instead, and he's posh and snobby enough to make me believe I'm listening to his master's voice. Carter won't be joining us. He gave me fair warning he might not make it tonight. I'm messaging him the details. You gotta see the cosplay. Vampire cosplay. They decided to... Their party... It explicitly says that they are reenacting scenes from Eyes Wide Shut. I'll have to find time to meet him later, then. Finding time, searching for lost time, I swear it's all I do nowadays, and there's never enough. I guess you understand why I insisted that this event must last all week. So many esteemed guests, many of them from out of town, each deserving at least a few hours. The figure in the wheelchair waves his hand impatiently. Yes, let's cut to the chase now, shall we? Barra Daddy Furry Man! Barra Daddy Furry Man! That prince might be the wisest course of action, my prince. Arturo! My prince. Everyone, let me begin by stressing these important points. The situation is largely under control. The negotiations are underway, and the situation is more tense than dangerous. We are safe. Let me repeat, we are safe. And with that out of the way, here's the big news. Baron Callahan, de facto leader of Anarchs in New York City, met his final death in his office tonight. She's steampunk, steampunk, steampunk. I love it. How did you find out? We have a good friend near his office. Their intel is as accurate as it gets. We've also established a negotiation channel with the Anarchs. They gave us all the information we needed. They killed the bad one. They killed the dickhead. He dead. He deaded. They deadified him. And I accidentally said something racist because of him. Was our court involved in his destruction? I look at her in disbelief. So does everyone else? Not that the same thought hasn't passed through my head, but to simply exclaim it like that? Oh, spare me the virtual signaling. I thought we were being transparent here. I don't give a damn if we took care of Callahan or not. I just want to have a clear idea of what I'm dealing with. Yes, a clear answer. I need that too. To my knowledge, none of us present here ordered his destruction, nor did we participate in it. Unless someone wants to confess, it's now or never. Of course, nobody speaks up. Arturo pretends to clear his throat. That's our official position as well. The Camarilla's ruling body had nothing to do with it, and for all intents and purposes, the Anarch contenders had more interest in removing him than we did. That interest is sure to manifest in one way now. His former enemies will prop him up as well as a martyr of the cause. Yes, which is why we sadly can't just leave the Anarchs to their own devices. As much as we'd like to avoid recognizing their sect in any way, we've offered to assist them in an official investigation. Addison Payne's wrinkled face contorts slightly. Let me just ask you one question. You do realize those curs have no respect for our traditions, yes? We do, Addison, but as a veteran politician, you should be deeply familiar with the words controlled opposition. I am not reading all of this shit. I'm not reading all this shit. Nope, I like how she talks about how this is a bunch of bullshit. Greatly appreciated it. Yep, nope, not gonna read all that shit. We do, Addison, but as a veteran politician, you should be deeply familiar with the words controlled opposition. Yes, for now, it's simply impossible to fully contain. That's a split infinitum. That's a split infinitum. To contain fully, not to fully contain. The Anarch threat in New York now. Our only option is to prop up a candidate who will offer the least resistance to our future plans for the city. We extend our hand to the most promising contender, giving him a way to present himself as a diplomat, a man of reasonable compromise. The rabble falls in line, the purists grow angry and alienated. And we've already contacted the best possible person in their sect. He will oversee the investigation, and it's in his best interest to show he's able to resolve the situation calmly. Is that good enough? Addison ponders the question for a while, then waves his hand again. It is. Proceed. Funny thing, nobody's paying any attention to me right now. Keep in mind, Mr. Payne, our man's people will still barely tolerate us, and the situation is volatile. The other factions within the sorry excuse for a sect might still try to escalate the conflict. I will do my best to solve this solution as fast as possible. How so? Kadir is momentarily taken aback by Arturo's question. I volunteered to coordinate the case with the Anarchs, of course. I refuse. You have more important duties to focus on. Once more, Kadir is stunned. All due respect, Prince, but if you don't consider me capable of tackling this issue and attending to my usual duties at the same time, I think you gravely underestimate me. Your penchant for working yourself to the bone is well known and appreciated by everyone in this room, Sheriff, but so is your perfectionism. If we do grant your wish and let you investigate while still fulfilling your routine obligations, can you guarantee you're going to give both these tasks your best? I can guarantee something very close to my best. Close to your best doesn't cut it, Asmai. Not when the vultures that are out in force. Callahan's destruction is sure to cause unrest among the Anarchs, and there's an obvious outlet for their pent-up rage. I want to make this perfectly clear. The celebrations will continue as planned no matter what. This is why your presence here is absolutely necessary, Sheriff. We rely on your constant protection. Of course, my prince, we must be on constant vigil for the few days. As my sword must be constantly pointed at the enemies surrounding us. This is where, if I'm a necromancer from Mage Ascension, I would just, cast Turn Undead and be able to deal with this entire situation completely. The timing of the Baron's destruction is impeccable. The Anarch leaders are sure to point at us and claim we're shamelessly celebrating his end. Does anybody believe it's just a coincidence? Murders are messy. Almost as messy as politics. It's impossible to reliably predict another Split Infinitum, the outcome of any violent action. I think it'd be wise of us to brace for a lot of unfortunate coincidences, Aisling. In any case, the rabble can't get the impression that their power struggles are of great concern to us, but they also can't think we have something to hide, which brings me to my point. We do need a symbolic gesture, one displaying expertly measured intensity. My best bet is a humble diplomatic envoy, a low-level official acting as an investigator of sorts. I implore you, Prince. Kadir? He bites his tongue and struggles to collect himself. I rarely see him lose his temper, at least where the Camarilla is involved. What's going on? I wonder about your suggestion for this role. After all, it's not particularly prestigious, but carries a lot of responsibility. We're still talking about a Camarilla representative. Oh, and I think there's a very obvious candidate. Both he and Kadir look at me simultaneously. Everyone else in the room does too. Ah, fuck. Now, wait a second. He can't possibly mean... Miss Julia, once again, your full name eludes me at the moment. Am I allowed to speak, or maybe I should wait for the permission? Before I make up my mind, the sheriff sighs deeply and speaks up. Sawinski. Miss Julia Sawinski, right? I understand you used to be an investigative journalist before your embrace. That's correct. That's correct. Among others, the Banu Hakim Primogen insisted that you were worthy of greater privileges and should be given a chance to prove yourself. Samira measures Arturo with suspicion. Yes. Do you still think she's capable? She looks me deep in the eye. I swear she's telepathically trying to tell me, please, 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 don't fuck this up, you dumb little whittle. Yes! Yes! Oh, boy. Yeah. Oh, man, the dialogue is... Oh, man. I gotta take a screen cap of that one, too. I swear she's telepathically trying to tell me, please, 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 don't fuck this up, you dumb little white girl. course. Good. And I'm sure that you, Asmai, have no problem with your protege embarking on this mission, save for the pain a mother feels when watching her child leave the nest. Whether I do or... Oh, oops. Hit a bench. That bad. Whether I do or not is not particularly important right now, is it? I absolutely is. Panhard's backing of Arturo momentarily blindsides him. Prince Panhard, If Arturo's plan is reckless, I want you to tell me. I need a simple yes or no answer. Is the girl capable? Now he knows he's left with no choice. I wouldn't entrust her with all the responsibilities that I have if she wasn't. He exchanges glances with me, but his look is different than Samira's. It's as if he is trying to apologize to me. Here we are, then. A recommendation from the Banu Hakim Primogen and the sheriff. To tell you the truth, I was just throwing out ideas, but with this backing, I can't doubt the Night Clan's representative will get the job done. I'm certain each of us feels the same. Mr. Payne? The atmosphere in the room mostly suggests people are glad they don't have to discuss the topic further. A shrug here, an averted gaze there. It is as you say. I will watch the way she handles this situation with great interest. Well then, Miss Sawinski, looks like you've got your chance for a big break. Just tell me what to do. Yeah, just point me in the right direction and tell me what to do. No point in pretending I have a choice here, is there? Excellent! That leaves us with only one matter, which I hope we can agree on. Prince Panhard signals someone with their hand. The figure emerges from behind the corner. Good evening. Catherine, what a pleasant surprise. Nobody informed us you are in town. Addison, looking healthier than ever. And what does Weiss have to do with it? We need an impartial observer who everyone respects, and as it happens, Catherine always knew how to make friends on both sides without angering either. I beg to differ. I'd be grateful. Just for once, you decided against throwing a tantrum about me, High Regent. A painful grimace crosses Isling's face, but she is quick to interpret the taunt as an invitation to a game she can't possibly win. As long as she can prove herself useful to the proceedings in some way. If half of what I heard about her from Miss Vanderwyn is true, she should be able to. And what did poor Carter say about me this time? Nothing specific, Olin. One always has to read between the lines with him, but it was mostly envy. Miss Weiss gracefully agreed to mediate between the Anarch representative and the La Sombra representative, ensuring mutual cooperation and mitigating potential conflicts. That felt like a Freudian slip. La Sombra representative, not Camarilla representative, i.e. someone who can be catapulted from the sect without much damage to the ivory tower if they mess up. Is there a meeting set up? Arturo looks at the clock on the other side of the room. In less than an hour. You'd better hurry then. What the hell? All of this is happening so fast. If the situation is indeed under control, I will drive her and oversee the situation. Out of the question. You've got your orders, Sheriff. Attend to those. You fool, the girl needs guidance. And we need yours. Nobody knows what might happen next. But it's not as if the Anarchs have a lot of love for you, Asmai. You're too efficient in your duties for them to tolerate you. Better spare Miss Sawinski having them see you two together. Do you think my guidance with Julia would be lacking, Kadir? I never said that. So, do you have any objections to putting her under my care? He lowers his gaze, but seems reassured. None whatsoever. That's all I needed to hear. We'll be going then. Wasting no time as usual, I see. Have you at least tried the aperitifs? Waiting is an old person's game, Helene. I still feel young. Remember, if there's anything you need help with, probably not, but I appreciate the thought that I don't know what this voice is. What is this voice? This is an awful voice. I don't even know. It was a mix of German plus something else. I don't know what that was. Ja, probably not, but no, I can't do a German. I cannot do a German to save my life. But I appreciate the thought nevertheless. Have a great night, everyone. I'll catch up with you later, Addison. I certainly hope you do. And so we leave in a rush. Funny, considering what she told me about being in a hurry yesterday. We're here. She thanks the chauffeur and lets me out of the car in a quiet neighborhood somewhere in Queens. Seemed like you were in a rush. Okay. I couldn't stand the crowd. She's honest. Probably performatively so, just to get my good graces. Well, it's working. And why is that? In my experience, gathering like those always enable a boring pack mentality, all the familiar lies we tell ourselves to justify lusting for more repeated ad nauseum. Yo, I'm just gonna be up front with her and say, give me a minute. I need some water. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's talk about yesterday. I feel like I don't want to be, I don't want to be that humble. Speaking of lies, you seem honest, but yesterday you told me not to rush. And I stand by it. Do as I say, not as I do. That's the best advice I can give you. I definitely need more advice than that. Back at the art hole, you said something about guiding me, but I have zero idea what to do. None whatsoever. I had a few necessary arrangements to make over the phone before we got here to ensure your pretty little head stays attached to your neck. For now, anyway. I'm grateful, but still, I still feel way out of my depth. I need to know what to do. You used to make a living as an investigative journalist, did you not? Investigate the murder. In TV shows where an investigative journalist gets too close to the heart of a politically incendiary case, it rarely goes well. A cat's head on their porch, a bullet to the head. So are you afraid you might be a pawn in a game you don't understand? That your elders consider you a dispensable asset? That a single wrong move might cost you everything you hold dear? That sounds about right, yeah. Well, by the sound of it, you understand your situation perfectly. Don't belittle me. I need your advice. Be anything you want to, but don't be boring, Julia. Just, if I wanted to belittle you, I would have drowned you in platitudes long ago. Know thyself, believe in your strength. Trust no one, act confident. Oh, turn the chessboard around and read your opponent's mind. Oh, read Sun Tzu, quote him incessantly. Say, do you feel any better now? Can I ask you something? Seeing as Mia is still not out here, of course. Do you know who killed Baron Callahan? I haven't the slightest idea. Were you emotionally impacted by his death? Not at all. Did you know him? Only passingly, I'm afraid. I expected him to perish sooner than later, so I never bothered to improve our relationship. Why are you helping me? Am I? That remains to be seen. What do you mean? You do not want a painfully honest answer, but I do. She stares me down. Her irreverent tone makes it impossible to guess what she's feeling, even more so than the mask. When I look at you, I see someone pitiful, someone whose hunger is purely biological, just an animalistic rush. Yep. When I saw a burgeoning plan to put you in a situation that is way beyond your capabilities, I offered my help. I was curious to see your true colors reveal themselves firsthand. When everything is said and done, and Callahan's killer has pointed out, will you be a whimpering animal or a victor taking the spoils? I cannot wait to find out. I don't know what to say. Is she provoking me or... Mia should be here any second. You have time for one more question. I know who Mia is because I played the first game. Mia is the liaison between the Anarchs. I remember her. So, I'm going to ask her the first question. And I know that she's probably scarred somewhere, so I'm not going to ask her about the first one. What do you do to hold so much sway in the city? Oops, sorry. I'm eating bread. What do you do to hold so much sway over the city? I have the best occupation in the world, and I made sure nobody is better at it than I am. And that occupation is... a socialite. You know what? I love her. Catherine is great. Catherine is great. And that was your last question. Direct the rest of them to her. A woman my age emerges from around the corner of the street. Yep, I remember her. I've never met her before, but if I had to describe her in 2 words by her aura alone, I guess those words would be permanently angry, even more so than your average anarch. You must be Catherine Weiss. You must be Mia Morgan. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. The pleasure's mutual. This your girl? Julia Sawinski, the La Sombra Primogen. The La Sombra representative. I correct her automatically. At this point, it's a habit. Good. You were a Primogen. I might have tried to kill you here. And now. Is Torque still on the site? Nah, I told him I'd take it from here. By the end of tonight, he needs to look like a natural candidate for the leader of the New York City Anarchs. It's gonna take a whole lot of driving around in negotiations. How did he react to finding Callahan's remains? He hasn't exactly elaborated on his feelings, but I expect he reacted the same way every true believer in the cause did. It's this complicated mess of all the possible feelings under the moon. So he was the first one who... To the murder site? Wait, he was the first one who to the murder site. That's a typo, right? He was the first one who to the murder site. Chat, that's a typo. That not good grammar, right? That's definitely a typo. Thank you. Look, I think what? The people who make this are Polish? I bet it's difficult. I bet it's difficult. Oh, so you're already calling it a murder site. Does the ivory tower know something we don't? It's not the official position, but I expect a lot of them to think it's Torque who stood to benefit the most from the boss's death, and it sounds like he's quick to jump on new opportunities. You don't know him. No. Yes. But I'd love to meet him and ask him some questions, especially if he was the one who found the body. Well, if you're meeting Torque at all, it won't be tonight. He's too busy. I was assigned to investigate. I won't be able to do it properly if I'm not able to question a key witness. I'll arrange for him to see you this week. This week? Aren't the tensions a little too high for delaying an investigation like this? Well, Torque's work is our best shot at making sure they won't get higher, so boo fucking who. I'm his right-hand woman, though. You got any questions, direct them to me. Maybe the two of you should just head to Callahan's office. The discussion here does not seem to be going in the right direction. Not in a particularly interesting one. You're not coming? Torque and you are not the only ones who have their work cut out for them tonight. I trust you can take it from here. And Mia, be easy on her. In slightly different circumstances, I expect the two of you would have ended up on the same side of the barricades. Uh-huh. Take care. She heads back to her vehicle. Well, follow me. I'll show you his place. It's a 19th century style office. Classical, wooden, smelly. The stuffy air of books, old furniture, and dust covers much of the fragrance of decay, but not all of it. This is the first time I've seen the remains of a vampire who has met final death. I heard stories of really old kindred crumbling to dust, but that's an exaggeration. At least it didn't happen here. When kindred die, time catches up with them. If you offed me right now, I'd probably turn into an ugly, leaky corpse. But Callahan was well over a century old. It looks like a dapper mummy. A desiccated body and a heap of musty clothes, all that is left of the mighty boss Douglas Callahan, Anarch Baron of New York City, if that's really him. Needless to say, it might be a little hard to establish the time of death or the cause, especially as his garb doesn't have any obvious damage. What a great place to start. Have you already found anything suspicious? Nothing you don't see in front of you. Uh-huh. This door is the only point of entry to the room, right? Yes, unless you count the windows, but nobody except for Callahan knew how to operate those, and they don't let air or light through. Metal binders facing east, the only modern element of the room, sticking out like a sore thumb. They look automated. Was the door open when Torque got here? Well, that's the one suspicious thing. It wasn't. It's as if Callahan locked himself in from the inside. Closed room murder, huh? There's some glass scattered on the floor. I point at it. Could that be from the window? I checked it from the outside. It's in perfect condition. So what's this glass? I have no idea. Why does it seem like she has her suspicions, but is remaining uncooperative just because, fuck off, Camarilla scum? I checked the next point of interest. A wall safe. Surprisingly large. I play with the lock a bit. What's the combination? It's Callahan's. What makes you think I know? At least I tried. A desk with nothing but an envelope on it. Nothing inside. I check all the drawers. Every single one has been thoroughly emptied. I don't know what I expected. Is this how the anarchs go about securing crime scenes? Were these emptied before Tark arrived? I don't know, but I wouldn't accuse him of tampering with evidence if I were you. Well, thank you. Umaneko, close room, murder party. Yep. The decor of the room is surprisingly pretty minimal, so there's not a lot of points of interest that could illuminate the case. I start getting nervous. I point at the painting at the wall. Of course, you have no idea who that is. Callahan's ancestor, I guess. I'm out of ideas. Everything I look at feels like another dead end. I'm frustrated. I feel as if I failed this investigation before it has even started. There must be something more. I start walking around trying to find a single clue. Mia just watches me indifferently. Give me anything. Anything, god damn it. Anything. Oh. Hey. Hi, how you doing? So, hey, Mr. Ghost. I could really use help. This is... Hey, wait a minute. Arbitrary, did this just go full Umaneko? We're consulting with ghosts and evil wraith spirits to find out who's murdering who? This is Umaneko. And wait, if we don't solve the murder, basically a war starts. This is Umaneko. They made an Umaneko vampire game. With lesbian vampires that like to take drugs. Should ghosts talk? That's a great question. In the World of Darkness, there is a sub-campaign where you get to control wraiths. So, yes. A shadow blinks in and out of existence near Callahan's remains. I freeze in place. I like the idea of the Wraith campaign in the World of Darkness because I like the idea of being a ghost in a tabletop role-playing game, and that's exactly what that is. I just want them talking to me. I don't want them talking to me. I'm going to say, are you trying to help me? Are you trying to help me? What are you mumbling about? In case you missed it, I'm not particularly fond of your sect. Doesn't seem like Mia noticed it. My mom is a notorious fan of ghost hunters, and I hate it. Because every time I watch that show, I feel like I want to die. I feel like I want to fucking die. Give me just a moment more. She groans under her nose and goes back to messaging someone on her phone. When she does, the shadow appears again. Hey, ghost thing. Can you help me? You're clearly not Callahan. You're a woman because you got long hair and this looks like the face of a woman. Once again, blink in, blink out. Could something be there? Yeah, 12-year-old me would totally eat up ghost hunters. And actually, I know for a fact that I watched ghost hunter shows because I actually watched that on the Discovery Channel when I was 12. I approach the clothes and start searching them for a clue. Maybe they missed something. Getting desperate, huh? Just being thorough. We've searched the bastard like 3 times. He had nothing of interest on him. How about this? A small card, barely noticeable, looking a bit like a shopping list, is shoved deep in an almost invisible hole in the fabric. I take it out and show it to Mia. Huh, you didn't plant that there, did you? No, did you? Shove off! What's on it? It's a list of 4 names. D'Angelo, Hope, Agathon, Tamika. Arbitrary, we're gonna go home! We're gonna go home! We're gonna go home! We're going home! 2 of those names are at least interesting. One of them we fucked up and didn't level up. Let's see what happened to Hope. We get to see what happened to Hope. Oh, I want to see what happened to D'Angelo, too. Agathon could fuck off. Any idea what this is about? Beats me. She's lying, but I don't care. Tomorrow night, I will meet up with Kadir and ask him to help me figure it out. Think I'm done here. Don't let the door hit you out the way. Great. How did my Final Fantasy II practice pan out? Poor. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and nothing that could have gone right didn't happen. It was like 20 hours of practice, and then for the real thing, it didn't work. But oh well, live and learn. I really don't want to play Final Fantasy II to the end. I think I've realized that. Unless you guys want me to. Should I get to the end of Final Fantasy II? Would you watch me get to the end of Final Fantasy II? I really don't want to. When will I get to meet with Torque? If, and that's a big if, he will agree to meet you on a one-on-one basis, Catherine will let you know. He probably won't let a loyal Camarilla lapdog like you see him without her oversight anyway. I will probably, if I were to play more of Final Fantasy II, I am not going to do hardcore mode. I'm not going to do Iron Man mode. We're just going to get to the end. We're going to pick up with my most recent save, and we're going to get to the end. You watch that? All right. I'll think about it. That might be like a Monday thing. It's a risky play, of course, and might backfire, but maybe I've benefit if I put my loyalty to the court into question. Nah, not worth it. Playing for both sides sounds like a recipe for trouble. Just too risky and stressful. Pass. Trade update. What? It said trait update. What is trait update? I'm loyal to the end. What? What does trait update mean? Am I upgrading stats? It's getting late, or early, depending on how you look at it. Once I leave Callahan's office, I head straight to Dakota's apartment. I try to sneak by to my bedroom, but she's up waiting for me. How was your night? Shit. Tomorrow. What happened? You look like something the cat dragged in. Tomorrow, I promise. But I'm worried. Don't be. Tomorrow. She gives me a concerned look, then closes her eyes, slumps her shoulders, and frowns. All right. Oh, right. We're lesbian vampire, and I'm totally cool with it. It's actually like a really well-done relationship. This is like an actually genuinely well-written relationship, and it works 100%. You're the best. I reach my pitch black room and throw myself on the bed. The responsibilities, the stakes, the way I always feel too slow to react properly in these situations. I don't want to think. I want to turn off my brain. I want to drift into the void, into the void, into the void, into the void. Okay, cool. Let's explain a mechanic. What? Okay, game. Look, the last time you said that there were different choices that impacted the end, it actually turned out to be bullshit. So I'm calling shenanigans on you shit. I'm calling shenanigans. You have received your first trait. Some choices in the game will push Julia towards different ways of thinking, which will have a lasting effect on her throughout the story. You will see a brief pop-up on the top of the screen anytime that you receive a new trait. You can always view any unlocked traits in the log screen, accessed through the top left icon. Remember that ruthlessness is the mark of a true La Sombra, but you might walk another pass before reaching that destination. Always told you, you'd make it big. Get real. These assholes are just using me as a pawn in some stupid fourth-dimensional chess game. As opposed to just keeping you off the chessboard, don't be a glass half-empty buzzkill. Watch them make a scapegoat or something. That would be exciting. I could write a book about living with a 21st century Lee Harvey Oswald. Come on, don't even joke like that. I haven't killed anyone. Julia, honey, neither did Oswald. Yeah, right. I keep forgetting. Stop wiggling, or I'll mess your face up. She's been wanting to do Julia's makeup for like an entire week. I'm always obedient when she's busy working on my makeup. It's hard to take care of your appearance, especially your face, when you can't even see yourself in the mirror. Not that I've ever been particularly good at it, but Dakota doesn't seem to mind. I'm her goth dress-up girl. Her presence in my unlife is one of the few good things that my sire provided for me before fucking off to Chicago. Normally I'd be told to find myself a ghoul, but many of our clan, myself included, finds the idea of ghouls distasteful. We're cat people, not dog people. We don't want mindlessly faithful servants. We want companions who rely on us, despite having, in theory anyway, the free will not to. The kind of relationship I have with Dakota would normally be a breach of the Masquerade rules, but the rules are kind of for kindred who are Camarilla adjacent. Are different for kindred who are Camarilla adjacent, even losers like me. Simplifying here, but my sire made it clear that her child would not own slaves, and that was the end of the discussion. To be honest, I think the court mostly agreed with that request because they wanted one more thing to blackmail me with, just in case. What would you do in my place? If I had to investigate your elite's wrongdoings? Yeah, I'd probably look for those rich fucks who pedophile rings. Great! Jeffrey Epstein, that's right. Her girlfriend's a fucking conspiracy theorist. Okay, cool. We're gonna just drop a Jeffrey Epstein reference in this. Fantastic. Oh, man. I'm just gonna speed through this. That didn't happen. They made an Eyes Wide Shut reference. Sure, go ahead. And you keep dropping Jeffrey Epstein references. Alright, fine. I'll take it. I'll deal with it. I picked this game. I'll live with the consequences. Woo, man. This game's writing is good. Or it's bad. Or it's so bad good that I don't care. You're gonna say the corporate... Okay, fine. We're dropping... God. You're gonna drop a corporate media... How do you go from talking about the pizza conspiracies to, like, Noam Chomsky's manufactured corporate media theory? Those are two diametrically opposed conspiracy theories. Like, they're on the opposite sides of the political spectrum. You can't do Trumpism, conspiracy theories, and then Noam Chomsky in the same sentence. And then... Oh... Is this good? Or is this bad? I think this is good. Oh, man. I gotta get through this. I'm literally falling apart. This was made in 2020, and for some reason it has references that are still good. Yeah, if they reference QAnon, I'm fucking done. I wasn't even paying attention to this. Okay, I think I get it. Wow, I'm 99% sure that this is complete bullshit, but I'm buying it. Oh, man. Make it stop. This was actually really well written. This is great. This is great. This is great. Oh, figures. Oh no, please tell me you're not anti-vax. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Like I said, this is an actually well done relationship that I think legitimately works. Whew. Chat, was that good? Or was that just bad? Or was that bad good? I like the dialogue. Thank you. I also like the dialogue. I think that was good. Part of me, like, really respects that. That the effort. I respect the effort. And so far, even though we played like half of this, Like, I think that it's hitting far more than the last one we played. First thing I need to do, meet up with Kadir tonight and report to him. I hope he knows how to guide me out of this mess. He should have time for me in an hour or two. In the meantime, I suppose it's time to find some, what's the most dehumanizing word I could use for it? Nourishment. Kadir told me I need to quench my hunger less often if I didn't smoke. It kills you, he said. But to start killing itself, your organs... Ugh, I gotta read this over. Kadir told me I'd need to quench my hunger less often if I didn't smoke. It kills you, he said. But to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive. What? Am I reading this wrong? But to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive, and that uses up precious vitae. Does that sentence make sense to anyone? But to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive, and that uses up precious vitae. I'm going to open up the definition for vitae, an ancient term for blood. Okay, we got to eat someone. But I love cigarettes. The way they smell, the way they burn, the hot ash falling from the top, the sound of the lighter, the way they kill you, of course. And I guess I need some tactile connection to who I was back when I was alive. Okay, New York City, guide me. Guide my steps. Show me which one of your children I should drink up tonight. I remember that guy. All right, let's go through the choices. Diva's Delight, a fitting name for a kiss addict, audacious enough to openly pitch her unique taste to those in the know. I'm not in a clubbing mood, but since I need to feed, might as well give that rumor a shot. Samira is asking me to meet her, if not for the ongoing celebrations. The patrician would prove an odd choice for a secret rendezvous. Here's hoping she can provide some useful insight into the case. We need to eat. It literally said we need to eat. All right. No blood, no matter how exquisite, is worth suffering through this noise. Penis. Something terrible must have happened to the previous DJ. It had to be sudden and unexpected for them to hire this amateur under the wire. Zero ability to read the crowd, no sense of flow, as if that constant flashing wasn't a migraine-inducing enough by itself. Not that I remember how an ordinary headache feels. I know the hunger through, though, which is why I'm here tonight. A purple-haired girl bumps into me, head down, tears flowing down her cheeks, hands trembling. As much as I'd understand it, I don't think it's the guy at the turntables that made her like this. Oof. Oh, I'm so sorry. She bolts before I can say a single word. Well, who am I to blame her? A tactile retreat probably felt like a good idea. The trace of cheap booze in every potential vessel is faint, but ever-present. At this point, the smell is all I'm getting. Come to think of it, I can barely remember how... Oops, didn't read all of that. Maybe I should remind myself. Nah, that's dumb. But the bar is pretty free, much free of people at the moment. I get closer and take a peek at the drinks menu. These are some goofy fucking names, especially from a kindred's perspective. I'm gonna put the menu back. Most of my kin can't stomach the liquor. Any fluid other than blood or food, really? I've got no reason to believe I'm different. I close the drink menu and pass it along to some yuppie drunkard. He seems overjoyed, and to the bartender's dismay, orders the fanciest drink on offer. The music abruptly stops just as I step away from the bar. I can't see the booth, but the crowd's reaction tells me all I need to know. Looks like we have a new DJ. The vibe immediately improves. Hallelujah. But pleasant moments never last. Some well-worn dude on the wrong side of 40 decides to hit me up. Our eyes meet for a brief moment, slightly too late for me to outmaneuver him. Strangely, there's no lust in his gaze, and yet he seems like a predator closing in on its prey. Why is there no space after the period? Shit, could he be the rumored diva's delight, a kiss addict clocking me as a bloodsucker? How come you're here alone, sweetheart? I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but there's something irksome in the way he carries himself. As he approaches me, I begin to feel fatigued, like there was a sudden drop in atmospheric pressure. The woes of working a bar. Yeah. You know what? I think we should tell him to piss off. I think I've been super passive. Lasombra's supposed to be hyperactive. I say we tell him to piss off. Fuck it. My unsure voice thwarts any attempts at sounding imposing. Can you bother someone else? I'm not in the fucking mood. He seems unfazed by my words, just tilts his head a little like a hound dog catching a scent. I feel spiders crawling up my spine. Is there something wrong? Here, let me... Hands off, asshole. How do we feel? How do I feel? Do I physically hurt him? Or do I Yeah, let's physically hurt him. I grab his wrist in a tight grip and start twisting until I feel the snap of a dislocated joint. He screams in pain, but fortunately the music drowns it out. Ha! Am I a monster? Well, I'm a vampire. Vampires are monsters. As soon as I let go of his hand, he runs for the exit. He stares me down before leaving, and I can't help but sense something worse than I fear in my eyes. Makes me feel uncomfortable. Time to bail out and not look back. Right before I reach the exit, the purple-haired girl from earlier bumps into me once again. This time I know it's not coincidental. Wait, please. She seems startled, but gives me a pleading look. I saw what you did to that man. Are you one of them? What are you talking about? Who's them? She bares her teeth and taps the side of her neck. Oh, I get it. Oh, so you're the diva's delight. She blushes innocently, like I just caught her stealing cookies. Yes, it sounds silly, I know, but I thought it would attract some of some of your kind. I've always been told I taste good. Would you like to try? She looks at me the same way a junkie who hasn't had his hit for a while looks at a syringe. You know too much. There's no way you don't have a patron of some sort. Her eyes tear up again. I do, but maybe I don't. I don't know anymore. He shows up whenever he wants, and then he disappears for weeks. I don't even know his name. I don't even know who he is. We were supposed to meet here tonight, but I guess he didn't show up. The girl keeps talking now that she has found somebody new to open up to. Any instinct she might have had to remain secretive is gone. Makes you wonder who thought it was a good idea to breach the masquerade for her. Before him, I used to have a caregiver. She was one of the divas too, but she was noble. I think she cared about me in a way. She always complimented the way I taste. Would you like a try? She clings to my arm, like I'm Jesus Christ and Kurt Cobain at the same time, descended from heaven exclusively to turn her misery to bliss. I can't help but feel some disdain. Please, I promise you, I promise you won't be disappointed. I know I won't be. I'm too hungry for that. But I also like to pretend I'm something better than hungry from time to time. Why would I turn down free food? The hunger gets the better of me, but somehow I don't mind. This is what she wants, isn't it? A quick look around, nobody's paying attention. Why would they? We're just two random girls who seem to be into each other. I gently grab the back of her head and put my lips closer to her neck. She visibly trembles with excitement. As I bite down, her body softens, then I drink, savoring each sip. She really tastes incredible, like an unfulfilled promise. Sweet, sweet innocence. As soon as I am done, she loses her footing, weakened but undoubtedly relieved. I help her down, sit her down. She smiles at me, joy glinting in her eyes. Thank you, I really needed that. My name's... Don't talk, just rest for a while. I liked it when we ate that guy from Tinder. That was really cool. I leave her alone in this state of bliss. She doesn't seem to mind. It looks like I did the right thing. Right? I'll leave the booming sounds of the club behind me and get on with my night. It says to talk to Samira. I'm gonna say let's talk to Samira, and then we'll call it a night after this one. That's basically 2 days worth of work. So far, writing excellent. Excellent writing. A clean-cut staff member dressed in an impeccable company uniform smiles at me as the elevator door opens. Consigliere. Good evening, ma'am. Meeting someone? I dismiss his question with an apathetic shrug. He sizes me up for a brief moment, visibly questioning my fashion sense. However, his professional acumen quickly trumps his discontent. Very well, this way, please. New York City's nouveau rich seem awfully starving for a gourmet soup this late at night. The patrician is packed almost to the brim. The consigliere points me over to the last vacant table conveniently situated in the far-off corner of the main hall. I nestle in the chair, letting my elbow rest on the ornate tablecloth. Watch out. Oblivious white collars. Watch out. Oblivious white collars. There's a black widow in your midst. Mitts. You've only played Redemption, which was way different game style. Yeah, it is. Arbitrary, you're the only other person here who kind of is a semi-prolific writer. Is it me, or are some of these sentences a lot more awkward as fuck? It might be late, but it seems like some of these sentences, as good as I think that this is writing-wise, like, some of these sentences have been really awkward. Like, the syntax seems to be off enough that it's like, wait, what? Well, I'm here. Might as well just kick back and die of boredom. Yeah. I really, really need something to occupy my mind. As I'm waiting, I rack my brain for any idea why the Banu Hakim Primogen wanted me here tonight, instead of out of there, working my case. The obvious possibility, and the one I'm counting on, is that she has some sort of lead she wasn't comfortable sharing at Elysium. I'm almost certain that's a false hope, though. This whole investigation still feels like a joke being told at my expense. While I'm trying to figure out how I feel about this, somebody finally takes notice of me. The consigliere quickly closes in on me, dancing habitually between the tables, and addresses me before I can even utter a single word. "Excuse me, ma'am, are you Miss Sawinski by chance?" As soon as I nod my hands, he hands me a carefully folded memo and leaves. The note reads, "The manager of this establishment insulted the Camarella's authority with his negligence. Even though it's minor, his transgression must be penalized. I would like you to assist me in this matter. Such a display of goodwill on your part will surely improve your standing with the higher-ups. Choose an appropriate, non-lethal punishment, S." Well, this is disappointing. It was a high order to expect any help with the investigation, I guess. Instead, just another chore. The best I can hope for is that this really is just a friendly request and not a deliberate attempt to derail my work this early in the game. Damn it. Might as well get it done since I'm already here, so I can move on with more pressing stuff. I swiftly approach the manager and tap him on the shoulder. He furrows his brow as soon as he notices me. "I'm afraid I'm busy on the waiting staff. One of the waiting staff should be able to. We have something to discuss. The VIP lounge. Now, if you please." His face loses color. Maybe it has dawned on him that I'm even paler than the other, more blue-blooded guests. He immediately becomes compliant as I escort him through the side door. The room isn't empty, but its guests are just leaving. Nobody pays me any attention. The manager is as polite as he can be as he sees the patrons out, but I can see he's clearly losing his shit. He quietly asks one of his staff to give him 5 minutes in the lounge and gingerly closes the door behind him. Then the pleading starts. "Listen, I know I screwed up. I shouldn't have let him in. How could I know he's not one of the proper clients? I don't give a... Listen, hey. I would never... I implore you. I've children. For Christ's sakes, there must be something, an arrangement, a way to..." He just goes on as if I'm not even here. With each subsequent whimper, he becomes more and more irritating. This is some Bethesda shit. And by Bethesda shit, I feel like this is not enough for me to make an informed decision and understand what the consequences are. What do I do? La Sombra are supposed to be aggressive. I've had enough of this bullshit. I grab him by the back of his head and smash it down onto the bar, then throw him on the small but stout coffee table nearby. Oh, sweet. What the fuck? Okay, well. Damn, girl. Damn! I take out a soup ladle from the fancy kettle it was served in and just smack the guy around. It doesn't look nice, but lasts way longer than it needs to be. With every hit, his whimpers grow quieter. I only come to my senses once he chokes on a sob. I look down at him, just lying there and wheezing after the unjust thrashing. I throw away the bloodied utensil and get out of there as fast as I can. I don't really know what happened to me back there. I acted on instinct. Karen warned me that something in our bloodline finds sniveling weaklings detestable. Is that what triggered me? Well, this is something to worry about in the future, but no use dwelling on it for now. I did what I was asked, and I'm sure as hell wasted enough time here. That's all, folks. No, 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 you do not end this like it's a Bugs Bunny cartoon. We literally poured hot soup on a dude's face. Okay. All right. It's about time I head to see Kadir. Mighty kind of him to arrange a meeting in the place that's most convenient for me. Oh, we're at the burger place. Oh shit, it's a different camera angle. Look at that. It's a different camera angle. D'Angelo, Hope, Tamika, Agathon. I suppose that's better than nothing, but no evidence, really. Honestly, it felt as if someone had already cleaned up the most egregious stuff before I arrived. Sounds like the Anarchs. I'll definitely try and check the place again, but I feel like I'd need some sort of expert to accompany, an advanced investigator who would show me the ropes, someone tall and handsome maybe. Yeah, if you don't mind a diplomatic incident, I'll go with you. Any better ideas? Actually, this very note gave me one, but I will need to set it up first. Oh, please tell me you're going to give me D'Angelo. Give me D'Angelo. Give me D'Angelo. Let D'Angelo come to me. He's an investigator. He's a detective. Give me D'Angelo. Please give me D'Angelo. Please give me D'Angelo. D'Angelo's literally one of the best characters from the last game. Actually, this very note gave me one, but I will need to set it up first. I will get back to you about that. You know these people? I've had passing contact with each of them, part and parcel of the job, you know. I'm not restarting this. Not after the last game revealed itself to be a complete false. A fakey fake. I suppose. Can you help me out with this? The way I tackle it would be, look at one person on the list every night, ask around about them, and see what they know if you do manage to meet them. If I manage to meet them. They're not particularly easy to get a hold of. Anyone always preferred to be a little off the grid, but nowadays they're all practically in hiding, if not MIA or dead. Funny coincidence? It is not my job to speculate. In other words, he knows something but is not at liberty to say. Guess I'll find out anyway, if I do meet them. And why one night each? Shouldn't I investigate every loose thread until we're satisfied? In a perfect world, you'd have all the time you need, but this is not a perfect world. They'll try to brute force a solution to the case as soon as possible. I suspect that 4 nights from now, once the celebration of power are over, they'll ask for your findings, and that will be all. Fucked up. To be brutally honest, my focus wouldn't be on solving the murder. Instead, I'd focus on not embarrassing yourself. Fucked up. She's so good. I think Julia is my character of the year. I think Julia is my character of the year. This is part of why I didn't want you to get involved. You couldn't possibly think Arturo had you involved out of the goodness of his heart. The entirety of your investigation is just for show. You were meant to be an unwitting actor. If it wasn't for the loyalty I feel towards Kadir, Samira, and my sire, God knows the memory of my embrace still holds too much sway on me. I'd have plotted a vendetta against these assholes long ago. But let's be frank, even if I thought that lying to Mia about being sympathetic to the New York City Anarchs yesterday could benefit me, I still probably wouldn't do it. It'd feel like betrayal. There's something about the Camarilla's ideals that still ring true to me. A belief in individual excellence and nobility, or the way time-tested traditions can ground us in this terrifying new existence. But being on the receiving end of this shitty non-feudal society and seeing firsthand how the elites always play by their own rules regardless, I can't help but think there must be something better out there. The kind of Camarilla that would actually deserve Slavish loyalty from kindred like Kadir. Penny for your thoughts? I take a drag from my cigarette. That's just the Camarilla, no? Yeah, let's go with that one. After the last few months of hazing, I didn't expect a random act of kindness. This kind of bullshit is, well, just how the Camarilla works, isn't it? More often than it's necessary, I'd say, but this time it's a risky play. In my experience, if one simply displays some cunning, they can unexpectedly turn a situation like this to their advantage. Part of the court assumes that you're unable to surprise them in this regard, but if you do, by the end of this investigation, you might as well pull yourself out of the ditch you're in. That would be a night to remember, so, where should I go first? You should go with me. As it happens, I'm only out here because I was ordered to drive Aisling to the art hole. And guess the name of her protege. Oh, so that's who Agathon is. Or was, nobody knows. It's a complicated thing, you'll see. I'm on the clock, so let's get a move on. Vin Diesel rides again. I did one choice where I had a choice. Did I want to do a reference to Sleeping Beauty? I had 3 choices. Did I want to compare Kadir to a knight in shining armor? Did I want to compare Kadir to something else? And then the third choice, and I shit you not, we could compare Kadir to Vin Diesel. And I picked the Vin Diesel option, and ever since then, my character has been making Fast and Furious references in this game, and I am so glad I picked Vin Diesel, because it's great. How do you not pick Vin Diesel? Still not done with this bit. Not while it's still bothering you. I'm leaving you behind if you don't keep up. You're still a steampunk vampire chick. As I already told Kadira numerous times at that, I have no idea what happened with Agathon. The Broadway Chantry, part of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, is Aisling's usual hangout place these past few nights. She's in a hurry and not willing to talk. Do you have any idea about his connection to kindred going by the names of Tamika, D'Angelo, and Hope? I don't. I made it a point to keep our relationship strictly professional, and never meddled in his personal affairs, unless they influenced our work, that is, but it only happened one time. Ah, yes, the infamous Juno case. Oh, man. Were there any signs he's leaving? Were there any signs he's leaving, or anything that makes his disappearance suspicious? No, nothing. It was quite rude of him not to give me a proper warning before he departed. Still, this line of work is not particularly favored by folks with a perfect grasp of savoir-vivre. I'm tired. I can't say these French words. I do hope his search will bring him back right where he started, begging me to take him back in. The boy is talented, and I did put a lot of time into mentoring him. If he doesn't, well, que sera sera, no skin off my back. So you won't even entertain a possibility that he found himself in harm's way. I know an answer to that one, a researcher's mindset. She doesn't think it's worth considering the worst-case scenario seriously and just takes things as they come. Precisely. If, for example, climate change scientists didn't operate this way, most would have put a bullet in their own head long ago. That's a cheery thought. I'd like to search the Chantry for Agathon's whereabouts. Our good sheriff already did that long ago. You'd just be wasting your time, and ours for that matter. Didn't you say Helene was waiting for us, Kadir? Give the girl 15 minutes, Aisling. A minimal support for an ongoing investigation, and besides, she has a proclivity for finding things everyone else has overlooked. 10 minutes. And if you attempt to pass this door, or one up there, I can't guarantee you'll walk out of here alive. Thank you very much, High Regent. Just get on with it. It seems Agathon was completely dedicated to his work. Even his personal quarters are as barren as it gets. No personal touch whatsoever. Nothing I could go by. It's all research, research, research. He seems like such a bore. Focus, Julia. What would you do if you were a warlock workaholic? Where would you leave clues to your whereabouts? What would you do if you found yourself in mortal danger and wanted Dakota to know? It's loose. It's loose. Yeah, he was boring. I like how the game references that he's the worst social link. How is this game gonna do this ghost thing and they didn't even change the character portrait? Like, it's clearly Catherine Weiss. Like, can we talk about this? Can we please talk about this? Can we talk about this? We need to talk about this. It's literally the same character portrait. They didn't even hide it. It's the same shape. It's got the same hair. How? How are they? Oh, boy. Was that? Yeah. It was facing this way, huh? I approached the palace where I saw the shadowy silhouette appear. Oh shit, it's over there. Fucking holy shit. They actually are animating parts of the environment. I approached the palace where I saw the shadowy silhouette appear. It's a brick wall. And one of the bricks is loose. Kadir and Aisling are in another room right now, still discussing the party. It's not that bad. You ought to learn how to find humor in the little things. It's demeaning, Sheriff. That's all there's to it. It's time I work the brick loose until I can grip it. Then I tug it as silently as possible, revealing a hole in the wall. Inside, there's a book. I browse through it quickly. Agathon's diary. That's a bingo. Your 10 minutes are up. So are your 15 minutes, in fact. Are you done here? If I could just get 5 more minutes, I still feel like I could stumble upon something here if I just look a little more. No way, Julia. Time to go. Fine. I put the brick back and take the diary with me. It did look like Agathon left it so that someone in the Chantry could find it, presumably the High Regent. But my investigation takes priority for now. I bid Kadir and Aisling adieu and start looking for a secluded place to read the diary. This place right here should be secluded enough for me to browse through the diary in peace. I start quickly skimming the books, singling out sentences and paragraphs that look interesting, trying to get a general idea of what kind of person Agathon was. Or is, I hope. Shit. Holy shit, this game is more animated and has more different environments. The more I read, the clearer the image of the person becomes. He's been working under the High Regent for 15 years. There's an underlying shame in the way he talks about Tremere magic. He always describes himself as too slow on the uptake, too late to learn something, too much of an amateur. He was really into his self-worth. He was really into tying his self-worth to his wisdom. The entries, beginning in 2012, are terrifyingly regular. The handwriting is extraordinarily neat. The author's absolute dedication to his studies is palpable. If there's anything to his own life besides work, it's his relationship with the 3 important women he holds dear. The first is his master, Aisling Sternbridge, whom he reveres for her knowledge, stoicism, and unwillingness to experiment. I was hoping to find some details about her secretive work here, but no dice. Looks like he was willing to risk someone finding all about his inner life, but not anything that could harm her studies. A good pupil, serving a good mentor. I'm jealous. The second is another warlock, his ex-lover Juno, whom he feels guilty about. They had a conflict in which Aisling was involved. Having to choose between the two, he chose Aisling. According to Agathon, there was never real love between him and Juno. First, it was just shared interest, then a growing disconnect, and ultimately guilt, which made him feel responsible for her. But maybe it's just excuses. He strikes me as the kind of person who spends most of his time inside of his head. Doesn't sound like someone you could have a fulfilling romance with. You have a fulfilling relationship with Dakota? I will fuck you up. Juliet, I will fuck you up if you fuck up this relationship with Dakota. Oh God, Juliet, this is not the time to revisit the time you got you pettily perceive as ground zero for your fucked up mental state. Get on with it. So that choice was completely irrelevant. Okay, cool. Anyway. Last but not least, Agathon's mortal grandmother, Sylvia. She is the light of his life and the person who took care of him after his parents died in a ritual murder. Not quite what I expected. Her family used to serve a cruel vampire in Mexico City, and it was retribution for their escape. She was the lead Tremere used to track him down, actually. He was keeping her alive for a long time, but a few months ago her heart gave up. Agathon blamed his insufficient skills, the kind of man who carries the entire world on his shoulder. Oh, she was actually pretty cool. Left alone with Aisling, he drowned himself in work and eventually burned out. But it doesn't sound like Sylvia's death was the only event that triggered his depression. Spiral. God, this guy in the book sounds way more interesting than the Agathon we saw. There was some kind of incident back in 2019. Doesn't cite specifics. Oh, they're talking about me from the last game. Another thing he was worried about writing down. It's all vague mentions of a person who, quote, made him fly too close to the sun. That was me in the last game. Whatever happened, it had the same effect as his grandma's death. New York stopped feeling like a home to him. It became alien, empty, grotesque, his words. I checked the first page. There's a recent photograph of him glued to the inner side of the cover. He's facing away from the camera, only showing his profile and striking a rather dramatic pose. Oh, man. At first, it looks kind of poserish to me. However, upon closer inspection, it seems like a goodbye photo, the final melancholic glance he throws in your direction before disappearing for good. There's also a single black feather. No idea what it means. Something's written next to the photograph with a lot of flourish. It looks like a poem. More than annoyed, sad. More than sad, unhappy. More than unhappy, suffering. More than suffering, abandoned. More than abandoned, alone in the world. More than alone, exiled. More than exiled, dead. More than dead, forgotten. The Sedative, 1917, Marie Laurencin. Could someone look that up? Is that an actual poem? Is that an actual poem? This is a plagiary. Looks like he wrote it down recently and might have resonated with his emotional state over the past few months. Most importantly, it seems to confirm his intent with his diary to me. The general idea seems to be his research will outlive him, so he doesn't even detail it. Still, he wanted some kind of tangible memory of who he was left for posterity. But that's not all. There's still a mystery to be solved. Quite a few of the pages toward the end are missing, but it doesn't look like they were necessarily removed to redact the information. They were torn off in a way that makes it clear the paper wasn't ever used. What's more, the preceding pages are empty as well. Could it be that? That's when it happens again. I notice a bizarre shape in my peripheral vision. I see spooky ghosts. Oh, so it was actually I say I spoke a ghost. Oh shit, there's another ghost. Spooky. I'm scared. I'm so startled. I turn to catch a glimpse as fast as possible, but it's already gone. If my heart could beat faster right now, it'd be jumping out of my chest. It's discomforting. I've been seeing these apparitions ever since I turned into this. The worst part is I feel they were always there. Even as a mortal, they were there sometimes in the corner of my eye, disappearing when I tried to look directly at them, making me think it was just my mind playing tricks on me. But when you're part of the Night Clan, there are times they don't disappear. There are times they just talk, there are times they try to force you to do their bidding, and worst of all, no, I don't want to think about it right now. Still, in my experience, they aren't exactly, I don't know, consciously malevolent. This one in particular was trying to help. I open the book on the first empty page and look around to make sure nobody is staring. Then I cut myself using a razor I keep in my pocket just in case. It's not a deep slice, I just want... Oh! That's when the letters appear. Look at me, clown. Okay, nope. Nope, 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 nope. I get that he's a racist asshole. I am not reading this aloud. What? Okay, sure, it's okay. What the hell? This is the last thing I expected to happen. This diary is haunted. Yes! It's like Mass Effect! Yeah! It's not objective view, like scattered remnants of emotions familiar to a half remembered dream full of holes, but an honest expression of one's mind. This is like that part of Harry Potter where you have to find out how many Horcruxes there are. Might it be interacting with me? It's just a hypothesis, but I don't know why else it would show me Callahan. And was that Ellis Island? Right. This time, I don't even look in its direction. The voice makes me feel oddly confident about what I need to do. I pick up the feather that was in the diary and dip it in my vitae. Then I write down. Fuck. Oh, shit. Shit. This game has weird moments where you actually need to play it correctly, otherwise you will lose. All right. I can't find it. Contempt. Let's try contempt. You sold out your ideals long ago, old man. You're a shithead, a coward, a bigot, a failed leader, hated by everyone serving you. Of course, I have nothing but contempt for you. Oh. Can I try again? Destiny? Okay, this is weird. I have no idea what's going on. But you haven't decided on one of these paths yet? Explain. All these scribblings disappear and another set starts taking their place. The diary conjures an image of a completely different place. I instantly get a feeling of deja vu. I process the space differently. The atmosphere is different, more familiar, homely. But this is unmistakably the Tremere Chantry I visited earlier tonight. And standing there is just the person I'd expect. Isling Sternbridge. Looks like that's it for my meeting with Callahan, god damn it. But what if the person he was talking about and eliciting a stronger emotional reaction from that was Isling? The diary awaits my next command. Why? High Regent, why? I don't feel comfortable being a part of this at all. I always thought we were busy with science, not politics. Okay. Not like this, High Regent. Not like this. What appears is yet another familiar face. Ah, yes, Agathon. You goddamn rat. Arbitrary, why is this... This Agathon is way better than the one we had the first time. Why wasn't this the Agathon we had in our first playthrough? Why? This Agathon seems interesting and has a personality. What time is it? We might need to call it. Is he alive or is he dead? I think he's dead. He's dead. No doubt about it. There are just too many powerful folks involved, and everything I've seen in the diary felt like a noose tightening around his neck. I choose to believe he's dead because that's the most rational thing to do. I suppose Dakota is right. I'm a glass half full buzzkill. Glass half empty buzzkill. All right. In any case, I think it's time to pay a visit to the art hole. I know Arturo tends to leave the... I've got it. Okay. We're gonna have to save an exit. This is going a little long. All right, everybody. This, we will save here. We will pick up from here. This is going places. All right, let's actually... I know Arturo tends to leave the Elysium quite often to take in some fresh air and message people on his BlackBerry, so I just wait until I see him. The tacit works. He's surprised to see me. Miss Sawinski, shouldn't you be busy with your investigation? I am, actually, which is why I've come to see you. That's peculiar, because I'm absolutely sure I have nothing to do with this case. Aren't you barking up the wrong tree? That's what I'm here to find out. I assumed you'd want to see I'm thorough. Yeah, sure, I suppose it's commendable. What is it, then? I have reasons to believe that in the last few months, the High Regent... Sorry about that. I'm getting tired. I have reasons to believe that in the last few months, you, the High Regency Aisling Sternbrid, and her child Agathon were involved in a secretive scheme. His expression changes ever so imperceptibly, but the difference is palatable to me. For the first time ever, he looks at me as a person. Up until now, I was just an amusing diversion. Now I'm something more, and he doesn't like it. What gave you this idea? I'm not at liberty to say. If you really want to know, ask the sheriff. Of course, Kadir doesn't know anything, but he's the only one in the court that Arturo has repeatedly failed to influence. He'll think twice before approaching him. I fail to see how this matter relates to the task at hand. I have every reason to think Baron Callahan was involved, and that he might have had grounds to fear for his life because of said scheme. He's tense now. Do I have the upper hand? Miss Sawinski? Please, answer the question. The delicate matter you are speaking of has absolutely nothing to do with Baron Callahan's grim fate. It's a strictly confidential affair. It would be wise of you to stop pursuing it. Be wise of you to fuck off. Can't be an investigator if I'm not allowed to properly investigate. This matter is unrelated to your work and should be treated as such. I am 100% convinced Prince Panhard would agree. If you insist on pursuing it further, we can take it up to the prince and see if her stance differs from mine, but I think you aren't as naive as to waste her time this way, and besides, she'd certainly want you to present the basis of your discovery to the court. Could you handle it? I have no response. God damn it. This is his revenge for invoking Kadir, isn't it? I thought so. The High Regent inside, she is, but don't worry. I'll make sure to tell her not to waste your precious time, Miss Sawinski. So that's how you are going to play it, you bastard. Well, I guess you win this round. A strategic retreat is my only choice here. I don't have a full deck of cards yet, but just you wait. In a few nights, I'll take my leave then. Yes, do that. And if I may be so blunt, focus on the investigation avenues that aren't utterly imbecilic and suicidal to pursue, miss. I bid you adieu. I curse him out under my breath as he disappears inside the art hole. Guess this avenue really is cut off for me, at least for now. 3 names left on the list. I still have some leads to go by, but for now, it's getting late. I should go to St. Patrick's and file my latest report. No! Okay, now I'm definitely gonna save. I'm gonna save. Gonna save. Gonna save and exit. Exit. Oh, God. I can't go to that church. That church involves so much dialogue. It's ridiculous. Anyways, everybody. Well, that was a lot. We're in a murder mystery. This game suddenly became Umaneko. But it seems fun. Seems interesting. The writing is good, except for when the sentences are supremely awkward. But anyways, hopefully you had some fun. I will probably not stream tomorrow. I like to do streams every other day. But if there's a surprise stream, don't be surprised. All right, everybody. Until I see you next time, peace.